Hello and welcome everyone, this is Type V3, and with the fall of Cybertron being such a great game, I thought it was only logical that I review the FOC Shockwave from the 2012 Transformers Generations toy line. So let's take a look at the facts and try to reason if he's worth adding to your collection. Right off the bat, this Decepticon scientist is not a gun. Instead, he's a Cybertronian artillery vehicle, or put simply, a jet. I really like its long and angular design. The giant center cannon is well detailed, but I don't feel that the rectangular block on the top of the vehicle adds much to the look. That's not to say it's bad, but rather, it kind of just sits there. The shade of purple is a little dull and could have been visually more impressive if some black paint was added to the panel lining. The silver and pink accents both look great too, even if their applications are a bit sparse. There's nothing critically wrong with this alt mode, but you do get the slight sense that there's a little more that could have been done to make the whole thing pop. Also, I refuse to believe that this artillery vehicle could actually take flight. If anything, it could probably hover, much like a pod racer. Moving on, Shockwave seems to be a healthy size. There's no doubt he's long, but his overall mass seems slightly less than that of his teammates. Honestly though, the slight decrease in size really doesn't matter. But enough about this alt mode, because I'm struggling to find more things to say about it. Let's just get to the transformation already. Most of the tabbing and untabbing action takes place in the upper body, and almost nothing really needs to be done with his legs. What's impressive is how the robot gun is so well integrated into his alt mode. The concept isn't new, but the execution on this figure is one of the best yet, as it can even fully combine with one of his arms. And the spring-loaded head reveal is cute too. Shockwave's transformation may not be the easiest, but as a whole, it's relatively simple. Thin, lanky, and very squared off edges. This is a Shockwave design that looks entirely new, yet feels completely familiar. The proportions and silhouette look great as they make him look robotic and entirely devoid of all emotion. The color scheme looks slightly better in this mode too, but places like his shoulders and thighs could have used some spots of silver, black, or even pink. The tri-barrel cannon is big and beefy, and its integration with his arms makes it look like one single cohesive piece. But the head sculpt is the real showstopper here. The cycloptic eye is large and alluring, and it gets a big thumbs up in my books. Of course, the robot mode isn't perfect. While he's practically kibble-free, it's kind of hard to ignore that giant block sticking out of his back, and the wings don't do much for the look. The real offender here, though, are his legs. The hollow and emptiness of them just scream cheap, and the heels look like a design oversight. It's like the designer forgot to put a hinge so that they could neatly tuck away somewhere. Now, Shockwave is pretty well articulated. The head, disappointingly though, is not on a ball joint. It can only swivel side to side, so he cannot look up or down. The wings can sort of move and get out of the way if you really don't like them, but it does leave him with a huge kibbly back, so I just leave them up. The shoulders are great. They're universal joints, so you got a swivel here, an extension there, a hinged ball joint at the elbow, which is really cool. And of course, the wrist can move in and out because of his transformation. Now, this hand also has a fist as well, and he can even hold his cannon by a peg right there that would fit into his hand. But honestly, there's no one I know who's going to probably display him holding his weapon. You're going to always want it connected like this, so I figured, what's the point? Also, you can remove this, and it sort of resembles the, I believe, X-18 scrap maker from the game. This sort of minigun thing, so that's cool how his weapon has dual purposes, but honestly just keep this on because it looks better with this. There is no waist swivel. Hips are on awesome ball joints as they can fully extend and rotate out, so very good there. A nice knee swivel. A disappointing knee joint. It's only 90 degrees, you know, it's a very squared off joint, but then again, this is Shockwave. I don't think he's going to be doing anything too agile or whatnot. The heel or toe, well, the toe has some sort of articulation that goes down, but I kind of wish it could move forward. We'll check that out. But I do kind of wish it could move forward just a little bit, just so that when he stands, he can sort of lean forward a bit. And the heels can't really do anything, and as you can tell, yeah, they just feel like this piece that just kind of sticks out of his foot, not really looking too well with this alt mode. Shockwave's size decrease is much more apparent in robot mode. In fact, he looks like a kid alongside both Megatron and Soundwave. While his smaller width doesn't bug me, I do wish he were taller. I even would be happy with a thinner figure if it meant we got a height increase. I know I'm really nitpicking here, and having perfect scale is something we'll never see in Transformers toys, but size is still an important issue. Well, it is to me anyways. Overall, Fall of Cybertron Shockwave is a good toy. His robot mode is fantastic, his weapon is great, and his articulation isn't that bad either. I'd even suggest that he makes a great stand-in for a classic Shockwave. The vehicle mode is something I find a little harder to judge as it is Cybertronian in design, and every time I see that word tagged onto a Transformer, I can't help but think that the designer's saying, well, we can make whatever we want because it's not supposed to resemble anything you've seen. In this case, however, I think it's still pretty cool. The hollow legs, minimal paint taps, and overall size are the big flaws here, but they're also a reflection of the current economic status, and honestly, I can't really hate a figure because of that. When it comes down to it, I don't think this is a very impressive toy on its own. Shockwave's real value comes from his addition to the team of Decepticons. He looks at his best alongside War for Cybertron Megatron and Soundwave, and if you've picked those two up, then I see no reason why you shouldn't grab this guy as well. It's also worth mentioning that I think a large part of me likes this toy simply for the fact that it's actually a G1-ish looking Shockwave, and I have a feeling I'm not the only one who shares this opinion. Anyways, this has been Type V3, thanks for watching, and I hope this video has provided you with conclusive and factual opinions to help you decide on whether Fall of Cybertron Shockwave is right for you.